So let's catch up with what's going on around here then. You can see now that above ground clearance has finished in the north half of the plot. We made the decision that to go back to ground clearance above, followed by ground clearance below, because after actually doing a little bit with that had been, heavily covered with horse's tail before, Sue again said, it looks better and it makes no difference, so we will clear the ground above first and then go through sifting through the roots. And you can see now that we've done most of this side. There's not a lot on this side left. If you look on the other side, there's not a lot left. Now, what we're going to do here is called green manure, although we haven't quite decided whether we're going to lime first. Liming is pretty easy because you sort of buy it in a powdered form and you just sort of dump it on the soil and water it in. You don't really do much with it. And the good thing about liming the soil will be that it turns the pH more alkali. Now, with something like horse's tail, there isn't a lot you can do to eradicate it altogether. The best method is to change the pH of the soil, which will seriously upset the plant. And so I think we're probably going to do that first, because what we want to do between now and the next year is we want to grow all the way across here what's called green manure, which is a plant that you can grow. It doesn't flower above ground, and when you want to dig it in, you don't need to dig it up, you just dig it into the soil, and it sort of cleans it, and between now and then, of course, it grows so rapidly that it stops other weeds from growing, because it's only the start of August and there's still time, still a good 3 months before dormancy kicks in for this year, and that's more than enough to see all of this return. So that's what we're going to do there. If we look at our borrowed brassicas, you will see that they are now huge, and this is going to be my main job for today. We are taking this netting off. The netting's on to stop the pigeons from getting it, and we are hoping now that the plants are large enough for that not to happen. If it does, then we're going to have to recover them next week, but we're going to do that with higher sticks, because you can see it's now got to the stage where it's fighting once again to try and get above the height of the netting. Maybe our biggest success has been these little lettuces. They have come on leaps and bounds, and they are so nice. The leeks, well, Sue's leeks are not coming on too badly at all. The harvest with the strawberries are over, and the strawberries right now are starting to send out runners. There's one, if I can sort of try and zoom in on it. And what happens is they send them out, and this end eventually snaps off, and that little green bud down there will become a plant for next year. We're going to extend the strawberries along here, as you know, but right now we've got some other stuff. These three, I can zoom out so you can see them. These three are the 3 or 4 surviving gourds. Gourds, we don't really know what they are, but they're sort of like a cucumbery type thing, and you can see that they are flowering. If I can show you, there are sort of flowers that look like courgette flowers on them, but we don't know whether they'll do anything. And again, further along here, we've got some brassicas of unknown origin. These were sort of leftovers from Sue's plantation that never got planted. Because they've been uncovered, they've been pecked to death by pigeons and stuff, so I don't think there was much point in doing that, but there we are. It's to fill the space anyway, which stops other things growing. Our apples are coming on quite nicely. They are definitely cooking apples. And then I show you something here which concerns me. I haven't been here in a couple of days, not since Sunday, and I'm a bit concerned about this. This, as you know, is our red currant plant, and well, I know on Sunday that I redid the netting. Now the netting's off this because a whole side of the trunk has snapped at the base, just down there. Now I don't know what is going on here, because this to me doesn't look like it could possibly be wind damage, and I don't really think it's possible that a bird has managed to actually break this in half. I hate to say it, but this looks more like vandalism to me, or an accident. If it's an accident, then I'm surprised that Sue didn't let me know that it had happened. So that is one thing that I'm going to have to check out, because obviously at the moment the birds will be able to get in here as soon as these go ripe, and really unfortunately part of the bush here that's actually completely dropped is laden with berries that are yet not ripe. And I don't know now if they will ripen, if you can, take them off early and ripen them, or if all of that, everything down here, is lost. I don't know. We were going to prune it right back after, but it's not a good idea to do it whilst it's still got stuff on it, so I don't know what's going on there. Our rhubarb is growing, and the leaves have grown back on that, so that's good. And then there's this, the almighty gooseberry bush, which has produced so many gooseberries it's unbelievable, and it still has loads on it. The gooseberry harvest we are hoping to finish this next week, because obviously it's not producing any more new gooseberries, but they're all on the bush, they're all ripe. In one way, we're lucky, because Pesky the blackbird doesn't like gooseberries. However, you do have to be careful. Firstly, the plant has some rather nasty spikes on it, and secondly, it is a favourite for wasps, and you do find that because some of them are ripe, the wasps have actually buried into them, and like they will do with those apples, if you just go to reach them and you don't realise that there's a wasp inside it, a half-eaten gooseberry on the bush, you can get into trouble. And along here we have, or rather we don't have, any of the potatoes. All 3 lines have now been dug up, so this is the potato harvest over. They've got quite a few, which is not bad considering that they were completely feral after they were planted. They were just left, and because of that reason, and because it's been so hot, a lot of them are very small. They do also have a fair amount of damage, some of them, with pests and stuff. I think these ones left here show that sort of damage. If I can possibly zoom in, you might be able to see the hole in it there. Now that's a normal potato, that's not a seed potato, that's the normal potato, but it's been eaten by something, and there were a few along this last line here that obviously got attacked by something. So, yeah. That is the update. The other thing that we're going to continue doing, of course, here is clearing the ground above ground here. So I have several things that I'm going to do, apart from water everything, obviously, and my main focus tonight will be to take off the netting on the brassicas and to weed all that area thoroughly. And then tomorrow my main aim is to try and clear all of this, or at least as much as I can, and that will be a substantial amount done, so that on Sunday maybe we can possibly finish the gooseberry harvest and find out what on earth has happened to our red currant bush.